Representative Allemand.
Present.
Representative Angelos. Here. Representative Haroldson.
Here.
Representative Pendergraft.
Here.
Representative Sherwood. Here. Representative Smith.
Excuse.
Chairman Bear.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right. Our first bill for consideration is House Bill 259, Supplemental K-12 School Facilities Appropriations, number 2. The committee is very familiar with the bill, so I'll ask if there's any testimony that anyone from the public that would like to testify. First, we'll start with the department. Would you like to add anything, Mr. Coleman?
Mr. Chairman, no.
Okay. Any public comment? Okay, very good. We have someone online. Would you let the online person for this bill in, Ms. Childress?
Okay,
I guess that would be Mr. Decker.
correct.
Mr. Decker, if you're there, we're waiting for you. You're welcome to Appropriations. We'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Troy Decker, Sheridan County School District 2 Facilities Director.
Go ahead, Mr. Decker.
Thank you. There are, in House Bill 259, there are two very important projects that the school district has in there, and we do appreciate consideration of those. The school district has 25 buildings. We have 6 elementary schools, 2 high schools. We have a total of 834,000 square feet. Major maintenance funds, we get approximately $3 million per year. The School Facilities Division, in its most recent condition assessment, has identified $16,818,050 of expenditures through 2025 to keep up with our deferred maintenance. The district balance is slightly over $1 million at this point as we approach the summer and look for continuing to address low scores, such as scoring systems through the assessment for pavement, flooring, playground equipment, exterior walls, roofing, and those kinds of things. Sheridan 2 has been addressing low condition scores, components such as roofs, HVAC and controls, flooring, doors, exterior walls, dust collector at the junior high that needed to be redone the last couple of years, drainage issues, parking lots, exterior walls, and windows, playground equipment, and emergency power systems. Sheridan County School District 2 has the Sheridan High School dust collector for consideration for air quality concerns. We have 25 pieces of equipment in that lab. The advance of technology has led to many of the machines being replaced in that lab and causing the greater demand on the existing system for commercial grade equipment to educate our students for the lives out in the world. There are 9 pieces of equipment at present that are not connected. That class goes all 7 periods of the day with 15 to 20 students per class. The second one we do have is Sagebrush Elementary Roof. It is a single-ply membrane installed in 2005. Warranty expires this year. The membrane is beginning to split. Areas of moisture and penetration into the insulation, fractures around the plate fasteners, and then separation of membrane on barrel roof sections. So we're appreciative of the State Construction Department working with us to get this in this bill, the School Facilities Division, of course, the Commission. So, Mr. Chairman, that's it. Thank you for considering this for the school district.
Thank you, Mr. Decker, for being here and sharing that with us. Have you looked at the bill as it is right now?
Yes, I have, Mr. Chairman.
So just to confirm that the component level major maintenance projects that you've described to us, are they in the bill here in section I on page 4 and 5?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, 2-6 and 2-17.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Decker from the committee? All right. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate your comment and your contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any other comments that would like to be from the public? All right, we'll close public comment. Committee, what's your pleasure? Okay, move the bill. All right, we're going to work this page by page, starting on page 1. Any amendments? Page 2. Any amendments? Page 3. Page 4, any amendments? Page 5, any amendments? Representative Angelos?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to propose a motion to add back in Campbell County High School and the transportation facility as well. I provided a copy of the amendment and the motion. And this is really important to Campbell County, important to our students, important to our community. And just some of the things just to highlight, and in our earlier in testimony this week, we heard that there's over 60 doors that they are monitoring, the safety of that and making sure that our kids are safe. That is a huge concern, and I think any of us would imagine that is. The current fire alarm is at end of life, and the building was built over 50 years ago. It's been added onto several times, and the current system is at its end of life. They have replaced, and they can't get the parts anymore. So we're seeing that with a lot of that kind of thing. The HVAC system consists of several units. They're ranging from 15 to 37 years old. So we're kind of at the end of life of the building. And last year I was sent videos, and I'm sure a lot of the reps, I know some of the Campbell County reps were sent videos of water pouring through ceiling when we had a deluge and a downpour and kids videoing it. And I got a lot of calls from that from our parents. And so I'm asking if we could put this back in. I'd ask for a favorable aye vote on that. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I have a second from Representative Sherwood. Any further discussion? I'd like to add just a few details about this amendment. We do have the demolition included here as well as the unanticipated costs. And just a comment, I have struggled with this as we've tried to look at our long-term forecast and what spending for the Rock Springs High School in last year's budget and then this high school in this budget. But I too am familiar with the issues. And as I look at this, the costs associated with delaying construction until such time as we feel like we've got the money and we can keep our long-range forecast from going negative, I think it is 6-1, half a dozen another, so I'd probably prefer to get started right now so that we can get the construction done at a lower cost. So I'll be in support of this motion. And is there any other comments? Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too I'm anxious to see this get started, but I'm afraid that today I'm going to be a no. I'm looking at the long-term forecast. I'm looking at the rate of construction that we've been for the last several years, and I'm just really feeling like we need to tap the brakes a little bit. I would encourage this to come back, as I'm sure it will, for the next general budget. But at this point, I think we need to allow the property tax issues to settle themselves out a little bit, and we have a little clearer idea of exactly where we're going to stand and what we can frankly afford to do. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, discussion on the amendment? All right, with no further comments, I'll go ahead and take a voice vote. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. Okay, let's see a show of hands. All those for the amendment, raise your hands. All those opposed? Okay, that amendment fails on a tie vote. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, right?
Yes.
So Representative Smith voted no on the
Okay.
amendment as well.
Okay, thank you. So that failed on a 4-3 vote then, 3-4 failure. All right, moving on, page 6, or any other amendments on page 5?
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Representative Haroldson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make an amendment to put in $4,380,121 into design funding for the CCHS design project. Get them continuing on the design, get them up to a level 3, ready for a level 3, so that whenever we move forward with the funding, they have their designs in place and ready to go. And that was, in our testimony, that was the request if we were to just fund the design. And so I think this would keep the project moving, get them to a point where they've got all their ducks in a row. In our next budget, we could continue to fund that level 3 and build a school. But I think this would be the fiscally responsible decision at this point to move forward and give them the opportunity to do their design work.
Okay, any comments on or discussion on the amendment? I'm going to get it. Okay, seconded by Representative Pendergraft. Any discussion on the amendment? Okay, voting on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. That motion carries. Okay. Any other amendments on page 5? Any amendments on page 6? Okay. Any discussion on the bill? All right. Ms. Childress, will you please take the roll on House Bill 259 as amended?
Roll call, House Bill 259 do pass with amendments. Representative Alaman? Aye. Representative Angelos?
Aye.
Representative Haroldson?
Aye.
Representative Pendergraft?
Aye.
Representative Sherwood? Aye. Representative Smith voted aye via proxy. Chairman Bear?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 7 ayes.
Do pass. All right. Thank you. Let's move on to House Bill 258, State Capital Construction. Is there any testimony from the department on this bill? Thank you, Director McComey. Is there any public comment here tonight? I believe we have an online.
Mr. Chairman, he is not online.
Okay. Doggone it. We took too long, folks. We lost the one we had. All right. Any other people that'd like to make comment on this bill before we work the bill? All right. Public testimony has been closed on House Bill 258. Committee, what's your pleasure? Move the bill. Seconded. All right. Page 1. Are there any amendments? Page 2, are there any amendments? Page 3, any amendments? Page 4, are there any amendments? Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a couple of amendments that I would like to put here. The first one would be page 4, line 4, delete. To the extent required by this amendment, adjust the totals and renumber as necessary, and that is to reduce the planning studies on the 712,000, and if I have a second, I'll explain.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second? Okay, we have a second from Representative Alaman. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you. Again, for the same reasons that I noted earlier, looking at just the long-term budget and a lot of things in question, and maybe tapping the brakes on capital construction all around. It doesn't make sense to me to start immediately on planning this particular project. I would rather, as I said, tap the brakes, and then when we're sure where we're going to proceed, we can launch it from there. And it'll probably be a little bit more effective the closer it is to the building time than to have one languishing for a period of time.
Okay. Any further discussion on the amendment? All right, having no further discussion, all those in favor of Representative Pendergraft's amendment, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. That passes. Okay. Further amendments on page 4.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to reduce the Law Enforcement Academy EVO entirely. This is page 4, line 6. Essentially for the same reasons that I mentioned before.
Okay, is there a second? Seconded by Representative Alman. Discussion on the amendment. Representative Harrelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would push back on this a little bit. I think that where it's situated above the North Platte, I mean, we're one good rain away from having a problem, and I think this is the first step in the direction of moving them forward, getting that range, the track away from the range, and obviously, I think that's something that we should continue moving forward with. So I will be a no on this one.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, no further discussion. All those in favor of Representative Pendergraft's amendment, say aye. Aye. Do we have a vote from Representative Smith? Okay. All those opposed, no. No. Okay. Raise your hands, all those in favor of the amendment. All those opposed? Okay, the amendment fails on a 3-3 vote. Mr. Pendergraft, do you have another amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In keeping form, I would like to reduce the LEA firing range entirely at this time, 36.6 million, found on page 4, line 7. And again, the same note as required, adjust totals and renumber as necessary. Thank you.
Okay, you've heard the motion, seconded by Alaman. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor of Representative Alaman's amendment, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no? No. Okay, let's see a raise of hands. All those in favor, aye. Okay, those opposed, no? Thank you. That amendment passes. All right, any further amendments?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman. Page 4, lines 24 and 25, I would move to delete those. And then, as this is included on that, I would like to move to page 5, delete lines 1 and 2. Again, adjust the totals and renumber as necessary. This is the elimination of associated AWAC. If we're not going to do these projects, we don't need an overseer yet. Thank you.
Representative Pendergraft, is this specific to those particular projects, or is this for each project and those are needing to be excluded in this language? Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
I'm thinking.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Representative.
If you don't mind, I'm going to weigh in on this.
Go ahead,
We did
Representative.
retain one of the projects at the Converse County facility, and that is the track. And so I believe this would probably have to stay in for that project.
I think
And
I
then
agree
the second
with-
one would be for the state retirement home. And so I believe both of these positions still have value.
Okay. Mr. Hibbert, did you have something
Mr.
to
Chairman,
add?
I was just going to point out that the footnote number on the line item, for example, the $79 million for the VH remodel footnote 2, that applies to that AWAC and the other one representative. So that's how you define where those AWACs would be assigned.
Okay, so let me see, footnote number 1 is here, which we retained. Looks to me like we need footnote number 1, which is your latest amendment, Representative Pendergraft, in order to affect line 6, which was an amendment you brought but failed. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Thank you, Representative Harrelson. All right, no discussion. All All those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Those opposed, no? No. That fails, okay? All right, well, is there any more amendments on page 4? I think we got all the way to the bottom. Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for your indulgence. This is harder than it looks. Page 4, line 19, I would ask to delete that. This is a request to reduce the Department of Corrections security entirely. This one is very difficult for me. But again, I would like to postpone this one until we have some of these other situations settled out.
Okay, do I have a second? All right, seconded by Representative Allemand. Any discussion on the amendment? Go ahead, Representative Sherwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to urge caution when we're talking about security. It's security of our communities, it's security of the men and women who are working in these facilities, and it's security of the men and women who are serving time in these facilities. And I think it's short-sighted of us to pull back, maybe because we don't fully understand the needs, or we're making assumption about the needs. So I do think this will come and bite us in the butt if we don't keep it in the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sherwood. Representative Harrelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have the director of this department here. Would you have a problem with him giving us just a direction
No.
on what this looks like if
No,
we were to cut this fully?
Yeah, let's have him come on up. I think we heard testimony in December that this had something to do with integrating with other facilities, so it'd be great to hear directly from you, Mr. Director. Please introduce yourself. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, committee members, I'm Dan Shannon with the Department of Corrections. Thank you for allowing me to provide an opportunity just for a few words here. As you're well aware, we have 5 correctional facilities. One facility, our newest facility, is 14 years of age. The rest of our facilities have the original systems in them. The request has changed through the years. How did we get here? In 2017, Director Bob Lampert at that time did a study, and since then we've changed. We went through phase 1 and phase 2 through the SBC. We followed the procurement rules. In 20 and in 22, I went before the SBC because things have changed, times have changed. The old tilt zoom cameras, the systems that operated our control centers, our doors, our gates, our fences, things have changed. We have the cloud now. We don't need DVRs. We don't need air conditioners. At our penitentiary and our women's center, our gates, and more especially our fences, require weekly work. There are 5, for whatever reason, there are 5 proprietary systems, meaning there are 5 proprietary systems. We don't have availability to the codes. We cannot train our staff to correct these matters. So the majority of it is software usage. Since 2022, we live in a different time. We now have fentanyl that's consistently trying to come through our institution. So what do I see as security electronics? I see it as MEL scanners. We have drones flying over our yards. Majority of the money would be towards WSP, Wyoming State Penitentiary, as well as the Women's Center. It would only be for software at WMCI. So with that being said, Mr. Chairman, I'll stand for questions. I recognize the expense. And Representative Pendergraft's, I understand, let's prioritize. Is this an emergency? Our systems are old and antiquated. Doesn't mean it's an emergency. But what I fight every day, and more especially with the staff at the Department of Corrections fight, it's a matter of time that these gates doors aren't going to work, and more especially the amount of contraband that's trying to get in. So any consideration, I'd appreciate it. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Shaner. Questions for the director? I have a question for you, Mr. Shaner. You had mentioned that these systems are proprietary, which means, and your people don't have the ability to get into them. I assume you have to go back to the manufacturer or the supplier to make changes at this point. Is there some sort of an agreement with them that you're paying an annual fee, or is there a cost to doing that?
Mr. Chairman, committee members, yes, we have to pay a maintenance fee.
Do you happen to know, Mr. Shaner, what that fee would be on an annual basis?
Mr. Chairman, I do not off the top of my head.
All right. All right. Any further questions? Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. We have a motion on the table. It's been seconded. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just, if you don't mind.
Representative Harrelson, go ahead.
Just for Representative Smith's sake, because he walked in on a already made motion. So the motion is page 4, line 19, to strike the 18 million out of the Department of Corrections system. That's the conversation we're having currently, and anyways, I just thought it'd be good to bring a clarifier before we did a vote.
Representative Scott, do you have any questions about the vote? Okay. Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Mr. Chairman, upon hearing that testimony, I would like to amend my amendment, if I may.
Okay, I assume that would be a friendly amendment.
Not necessarily after today.
Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you. Listening to this, the tone was a little bit different than I remember when we first approached this, and perhaps is a little bit more urgent than I had considered. Therefore, I would like to amend that amount to 9 million, cut that in half, allow you to have a little bit of buffer there to try to progress. And trust me, I'd love to give you all of it. But I'm really nervous about where we're headed. So I'm going to hold back what I can, and so amended. Thank you.
Okay, you've heard the amendment. Is there a second? Second by Representative Sherwood. Any discussion on the amendment? Representative Harrelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just, I guess the one question I would have is, does 9 million scratch any itch, or does it just put a place setter in there? I mean, is 9 million going to do anything?
Mr. Shaner, would you like to come back up and address that? If you have anything to say, we'd like to hear it. Sorry to give you a little extra exercise tonight. Go ahead, Mr. Shaner.
Mr. Chairman, committee members, the Department of Corrections, to answer Mr. Representative Harrelson's, even though we went through phase 1 and 2, our immediate needs with those scanners and working on that software, any amount would assist us. I can always report back with our findings.
Right.
So,
And we'll be back in here 12 months from now and
yes, sir.
trying to attack it again. Does that answer your question, Representative Harrelson? Any further questions? Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, you've heard the motion, and now this is the amendment to the amendment. All those in favor of Representative Pendergraft's amendment to the amendment, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. All right, that amendment carries. Now we're passing the amendment. It has been amended to $9 million. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Okay, that carries. Any other amendments on page 4? Okay. Page 5, are there any amendments to page 5? Page 6, any amendments to page 6? Go ahead, Representative Angelos.
I'm looking on page 5. Are we going to need to adjust these amounts that are transferred?
Representative Angelos, that was part of the amendment.
Oh, was
Each
that? Okay.
amendment was adjust totals as necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, though. All right, any discussion on the bill? All right, no discussion. We'll go ahead and take the roll. Ms. Childress?
Roll call on House Bill 258 as do pass with amendments. Representative Alaman? Aye. Representative Angelos? Aye. Representative Harrelson? Aye. Representative Pendergraft?
Aye.
Representative Sherwood? Aye. Representative Smith?
Aye.
Chairman Bear?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 7 ayes.
7 ayes, thank you. So that is a do pass. And I would like to discuss floor management of these two bills. Committee, I'd like us to practice what we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks with the budget bill where we share this duty, and we'll just have a meeting later on privately to divide up the duties of both of these bills so we can present those to the body. Any questions or concerns about that? Okay, that'll be the plan. Ms. Childress, do we have some re-referrals that we can actually work on right now?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you have House Bill 235, Career Technical Education Equipment and Supplies, and House Bill 199, Wyoming Freedom Scholarship Act. So if you want to work those bills, I can hand them out.
All right. Let's pass out the first one you mentioned on CTE.
Okay.
Committee, we'll just work this one bill, and then we'll adjourn at that time. Thank you all for coming and helping us with that bill. Okay, we have before us House Bill 235, Career Technical Education Equipment and Supplies. Is there any public comment here? Is there any comment online? No. All right, we're working this, the public comment is closed on re-referral of House Bill 235. What's the committee's pleasure? Move the bill. Move the bill. All right. Seconded? Any comments before we start? All right, page 1. Page 2. Any changes, any motions on page 3? On page 4? Page 5? On page 6? On page 7? Page 8? Page 9? Page 10? And page 11. All right. 1.6 million. Any questions about the bill? Any comments on this bill? Okay, what's the committee's pleasure? Do I have a motion? Move do pass. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Angelos. Any comments on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I do have to have a roll call.
Yeah, let's do it, please.
Okay, roll.
Just to clarify, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
It's a good learning experience. I'm just making sure I'm reading this right. We got 4.64 million coming out of the school foundation program account, correct?
That's affirmative, and this is for supplies.
Yep.
And what this does, it helps the smaller schools that don't have the right, I think it's based on the instructor count. And so this allows them to get grants, even though they might not have as many instructors or student count as a big school.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was reading that right, that we were, because I saw obviously down below we have that other, but that just all adds into this conversation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good question. Any other comments before we take roll call vote? Ms. Childress, the roll.
Roll call vote on House Bill 235, re-referred bill, do pass. Representative Allemand. Aye. Representative Angelos. Aye. Representative Haroldson.
Aye.
Representative Pendergraft.
Aye.
Representative Sherwood. Aye. Representative Smith.
Aye.
Chairman Bear.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 7 ayes.
Okay. Folks, with that, we're adjourned, and we will be meeting as a House committee at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll hopefully finish up at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the budget bill, and then we will take re-referrals. Since we got these two bills done, we'll just deal with re-referrals. No, we won't have a meeting at noon tomorrow. We're going to try to get back on our schedule that's on the schedule is we meet mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. and Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon. So tomorrow is Thursday, so we would be meeting at 8 a.m. We are meeting at 8 a.m. as a joint, and Friday at noon. Any other questions? Now, just so you know, that's subject to change, because I have told the speaker that on Friday we would start accepting bills, and I did ask some members, I don't think you were here, Representative Haroldson, if you have a preference we have choice, basically. I can go in and kind of pick the type of bills we'd like to work through the committee. So if you have anything that you'd like to see come to the committee, let me know, and I'll go speak to the speaker about that. Okay? Go ahead, Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So tomorrow, we're looking at 6 or 8 amendments in JAC.
Yes, there were 6 in JAC that we're going to work through. And that way, since we got so much work done tonight, JAC can go a little long, but I don't know if the Senate can do that. So, but we really need to get it wrapped up so we can get started
Mr. Chairman,
creating that bill.
you
Yes.
are still online. Did you want
Yeah,
me
you
to?
can go ahead and secure that.
Okay, thank you.
I haven't adjourned yet, but I'll go ahead and adjourn us. We are adjourned.